guys, hope you're doing really well. This is Kirti, and today we are going to study a new topic that is type conversions, right? In which we are going to study with how we can convert our particular string or a particular integer to another data type, such as float or integer type, right? So basically, type conversions, that's a topic that we are going to study right now. See, whenever you put the integer and floating point number in an expression, the integer is implicitly converted to float. See, we have two functions. We have basically one is the float function and the other one is the int function. And these two functions are the inbuilt functions in Python language, right? So as you can see my screen, here, let's take an example so get a more clear idea about what I am trying to say. See, here what we are going to say is we are printing float 99 plus 100. So in float 99, Python will automatically convert 99 to floating point number that is nothing but 99.0. And when it will convert it, then it will basically add 99.0 to 100. So when it will add 99.0 to 100, then it will give us the output that is nothing but 199.0. Why? Because whenever we are adding the integer to a floating point number, the Python will implicitly convert it into the floating point number, right? Let's take in another example, like I have a particular value that is I equal to 42, right? In the I equal to 42, I have basically printed the type of I. Now the type of I is nothing but integer type, right? So I is basically of integer type, right? So when I have converted into floating point number, like I have declared f is equal to float of I, it means what I have done, I have converted the integer point number to a floating point number, and here I am printing f. Now whenever I am printing f, it is giving me the output that is 42.0 because it's a floating point number, right? So that is giving us the particular floating point number, and now when we are going to print the type of f, that will give us the float, right? Is it clear right now? Don't worry, I'll basically run this program so we'll get a more clear idea about it, right? Next topic, that is integer division. In integer division, that's a very important topic, yet it's a simple one also. We just have to keep in mind that whenever we are going to divide any particular value in Python, that will always give us a result in floating point number. What I am going to say is that any integer division like 4 upon 2, that will actually give us the result in float, right? Now let's take an example, like I have print the value of 10 upon 2. I have divided two integer values. So it is giving us the floating point number that is 5.0. Then again, I have divided 9 upon 2. That will again give us the value that is 4.5. Then we have printed 99 upon 100. That will give us 0.90 and so on. I have taken many examples. So my main purpose was just to say that whenever we are going to divide the values, it will always result in floating point number in Python, right? Moving on to the next slide, we are going to say that what do you mean by string conversion? And that's the main topic that I'm going to discuss right now. Now in string conversion, like suppose that we have a string, I have my name, I have your name. Now I am saying that these particular strings that can also be converted into integer type, provided that the string must be in numeric format. It means that whenever a string is containing any alphabetical character, for example, like there is a string and that string is basically hi Kirti or hi world. So basically it's a string and that string cannot be converted into integer type. Why? Because it is containing the alphabetical characters. But if I am taking the example like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 5, 6, 7, that is basically nothing but that's the integer format. That is the numeric format. And if we have a string containing the numeric part, that can actually be converted into integer type to a float by using the string conversion, right? So let's give an idea that we can convert between the strings and integers using the string and float. And there would be an error if string does not contain any numeric characters. If the string doesn't contain any numeric character, then it will show you an error. Like if I have a string that is basically hello world and I am going to convert it into integer type. So it will basically give me the error. Why? Because the Python will give me a trace back that no, you cannot convert a particular alphabetical character into an integer type. What you're doing? For example, I have this particular part that is a test that is equal to 456, and that is basically a string type, and type test, that is basically what is giving us the type of that particular variable test, and that is nothing but string, right? Whenever we are printing the value that is test plus 10, so here what I am going to show that I am basically adding an integer to a string, which cannot be possible in Python. So it will give us a traceback that no, you cannot add integer to a string, right? ऐसे ही हम क्या करेंगे, हम देखेंगे that whenever I am going to show that test int is equal to int test, what I am going to do now, I am basically converting the test into the integer type. Can I convert it? Yes. Why can I convert it? Because test is in the integer type, and when I am going to convert it into integer type, because it's a string and that string is containing the integer format, the numeric format, so that can easily be converted to the integer type, right? So now I am basically giving you that type test int, and that will give us the particular class int, right? Now what I'm going to show you that whenever I'm printing test int plus 10, so now it will not give me the error because I have converted my string to an integer type, into an integer format, right? So test int, that would be equal to 456 plus 10, that is equal to 466, right? So test string is equal to hello world, that is basically a string. And whenever I am converting this string into an integer, that will again give me the error. Why? Because now test string is basically of alphabetical type, right? That is a string, and string cannot be converted into integer, right? Because the string cannot be converted into integer. So that will give us a traceback that no, you cannot convert it. So now we'll open our atom so as to know that how we are going to show you, right? So I have a particular value that is test, and that is equal to 123. And now I am basically printing up the type of test plus 10, 10, right? What I'm going to show you, I'm going to print the value of float of test plus 10. Let's suppose हमने लिया इसे 100, right? What I am going to show you, I have basically converted first of all, I have converted the test to float, right? 100 को float से किया तो क्या आ जाएगा, 100 plus 0.0 plus 10, 100.0 plus 10, that will get explicitly converted to the float value, and that will give me the answer, that is 110.0. when it will give us the answer 110.0, तो answer would be क्या, float type आएगा, right? तो हमारे पास यहाँ पर जो आंसर आना चाहिए वो float आना चाहिए. So let's see, let's open our command prompt, and now I'm going to run this program. First I have changed the directory, and then datatype.py. Now as you can see that it is basically giving us a string. Now why it is giving us a string, it's not giving us a, oh sorry, I have basically not saved it yet. Now it will give us a float. See, as you can see that it is basically giving us a float part, right? Now why it is giving us a float part, because it is converted into 110. Now if we want to check the answer, that what is the answer of it, what we can do is we can actually just remove this type, and then we'll print the answer. First of all, I'm gonna save it, and then we'll print the answer. So the answer would be 110.0. Perfect. So it's basically running according to my choice. Now what I'm going to do now, I have basically a test, and now I have a particular string that is str, and that is nothing but hi. And what I am going to do, I am going to print the type of string plus 10. First of all, I'm going to print the type of string, right? Like whatever it is, let's suppose I have a particular variable that is a string, and then I have saved it. Now we'll run in the command prompt. Let's see how it is going to do. Now perfect, it's basically giving us the type at a string. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the string to 10, string plus 10 or 20, right? And now when I have added it, let's say that what is going to show it now. See, it's giving me the traceback. Perfect. So it is saying that you can only concatenate string to string. You cannot concatenate a string to an integer, right? As we have already learned over it. Okay, perfect. So basically that is what I have shown you. In the next slide or in the next lecture, we are going to study that how we can take the input from the user, and it's a very important task in Python, because till now we have only declared in the Python program atom itself. We haven't take any value from the user. So we're going to take our value from the user. That's we are going to study in the next lecture. So bye bye guys, take care and see you soon in the next lecture.